Okay, good. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी।
जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी।
यशोदानंदन
वनचारी
जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन जमुनातीरवनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज
जन
यमुना तीरवनचारी।
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Okay, you can do the Mangalacharan and the presentation.
Okay.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Thank you. Who else
Hello.
joined today so far? Genu Gita is not there, and Raj team is not there. Okay, go ahead.
Mudrakshara plate first. Om Jnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagratam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं साधुतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सह गणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विष्णुभानुसुते देवी प्रणनामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। श्रवन्तं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणं कीर्तन हृदयन्तस्तु भद्राणि विदुनोति सुरततं नष्टपरेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयितं गिरिं यत्प्रपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीननाथार्यम्। हरे कृष्ण। So let me share my presentation slide. Okay. So we are on Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order. And today's chapter is 22, Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the Kumaras. So we just did the Mangalacharan prayers, and this is the, okay. So here you can see the Prithu Maharaj is meeting with the four Kumaras, and this is the AI version, and this is the pending. So chapter 4, and we have a total 63 verses. It's pretty big chapter. If you look at the categorizations from the top, the Prathu rule, receptions of the Kumaras and inquiries from them. So 1 to 16 verses. Sarat Kumar answers Prathu's questions in detail. That is 17 to 40. And Prathu Maharaj praises the Kumaras, the 41 to 48. And Prathu's glorious rule and qualities, 49 to 63. So I want to remind the D, which is the Prathu's glorious rule and qualities. Does anybody remember this comes earlier? This is the second time coming in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, if not, then we will discuss later. Okay, so just keep this picture. Yeah.
Swayambhuva Manu glories.
Huh?
Swayambhuva Manu glories.
No, Prathu Maharaj glorious rule.
It was just 2 chapters before. We did the Prathu's welcome also, when it was described that how well built Prithu Maharaj is, and his praises were there.
Who were praising? Do you know who were praising?
The citizens.
Citizen, no, not citizen. Those who are the reciters, the professional reciters. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk that later. Okay. So the first to 1 to 6 is the arrival of the four Kumaras. Does anybody remember why four Kumara? How does the Prithu Maharaj connected with the four Kumaras? Where it is actually started? The connection. It was mentioned in prior chapters. Actually, Lord Vishnu blessed Prithu Maharaj that you will meet soon the four Kumaras and they will guide you. So that was a blessing Prithu Maharaj received from the Lord Vishnu when his 100th sacrifice was abandoned by or stopped by the Indra by capturing his horse. So now he is meeting with the four Kumaras. So arrival of the four Kumaras, they were very effulgent as sun, and it appears like they were descending from the sky. So this is the very summary of the first two verses. And Prithu Maharaj showed very eagerness to meet and feel the presence of the four Kumaras, and he immediately got up and ready to serve them. He knew that they will come because he was aware. But when he saw them, and he immediately got attracted towards them. So he used all the Vedic way of receptions, following spiritual protocol. Prathu offers seed, bow down, and wash their feet, like how we do our spiritual masters when they come. We receive them, we ask them to sit on a vyasasana, and then we all senior devotees then wash their feet. This is the actually Vedic way of receiving the great Vaishnavas, and here Prathu Maharaj followed the exactly same, and he showed respect and humility to the king. Received them as one would receive fire on the altar, with deep reverence and restraint. So he actually, because they were all these four Kumaras were like as brilliant as sun, they were looking. So that's why they think they use this. The key theme here is the proper reception of saintly person is both a spiritual duty and an opportunity for purification. So when we get such opportunity, we should always be eager to participate and look forward to be one of them who serving the spiritual masters or any great Vaishnava we meet. Okay. So this is glorification of Brahmana and their presence. So now there is a all the how Prithu Maharaj glorified them. So he said it's a rare darshan. Prithu Maharaj humbly acknowledged the rarity and blessing of seeing the Kumaras. So it's not very like often you can meet such great Vaishnavas. Like even in our life, like when we, it's not very easy to meet or a spiritual master or have association with them. In some cases, it's not even feasible nowadays. Um, but these are the rare things, and we should be seeking such blessings whenever we get opportunity. Power of pleasing sons. Pleasing Brahmanas bring blessing of Lord Shiva and Vishnu. So that's the power of when we please those great Vaishnava or sons. This is the like we get direct blessing from Lord Shiva and Vishnu. Their unknowable nature. Even Brahma and Shiva cannot understand the Kumaras, just as the super soul is hidden. So like that's a comparison said. Even Brahma, like what is the relationship with Brahma and four Kumaras?
Father and son.
Father and son. But Brahmaji is saying even he doesn't understand the what is the like how powerful or how knowledgeable these four Kumaras are. And even Shiva, Lord Shiva is also sometimes doesn't fully understand four Kumaras. So blessing to the householder. So why we should be looking forward to invite such great souls in our home, and this is what has been given here. There is a contradictory in a not contradictory, but they are they highlight the two different aspects, and it's very nicely captured here. A poor householder who welcomes saintly guests brings glory to himself, his house, home, and even the servants. Okay. Whereas a wealthy home that neglects devotees becomes like a tree filled of venomous serpents, externally grand but inwardly dangerous and inauspicious. So, so we should learn from these two verses like how we should welcome. We should always be looking. Otherwise, we will be like venomous serpents, like very dangerous and inauspicious. So whenever we get opportunity, we should jump and then invite such a great Vaishnava in home or home, regardless of our financial status or ability or whatever you want to say. So yeah, recognition of purity. Prithu praises their lifelong celibacy and childlike innocence, despite being spiritually advanced. So Prithu Maharaj now praising the four Kumaras, reminded that they are lifelong celibate and they maintain the childlike innocence despite being so spiritually advanced. Their spiritual advancement, even Brahmaji cannot comprehend how advanced these four Kumaras are there. So, but they are like a childlike innocence. And so, this is a great way to praise four Kumaras. And this is praise done by the Prathu Maharaj. Now, here, inquiries on deliverance and ultimate goal. So, now Prathu Maharaj will ask some questions. Actually, this is generated by AI. AI has a like problem. Like I didn't get a good luck this time with AI and creating the images. The reason being is like they have a policy like they don't want to use 5-year-old child in when I said like I want to see that Kumaras in 5-year-old child. I don't want to do it. They said this is beyond their policy. So I said anyway, so that's why I showed them so big because that's the only AI can do it legally. So compassionate inquiry. Prasu asked whether sense bound Indriyartha Indriyartha Artha Vedinam and who has fallen into samsar by their own activities. Patitanam so karmanabhi. soul can be delivered. So there he's asking like how these people like us can be delivered who are sense bound and they're fully indulged into this material life. That is very good question. But if you notice, like this question is not belong to Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj was actually already know and he was above this question, but he is asking for our benefit. Sages, and that is what actually for Kumaras will acknowledge later on. If these questions are not for you, that the Kumara says to him. Um, so sages beyond duality. He notes that the Kumaras are beyond material fortune or misfortune. So this is the Prithu Maharaj is saying to Kumaras that you are beyond material fortune or misfortune. Like you're meeting with your like saviors of the sufferings. He sees the sages as the only true friends of those suffering in samsara. Like those great sages like Kumaras or spiritual master are actually our true friend because they are the only one they can relieve us from the suffering in this material world. Spiritual outreach. The Lord, out of compassion, appears as saintly persons to uplift fallen soul. So these are the four points Prithu Maharaj made in front of stages, and because they are here for our upliftment. Okay? So key theme here is the saintly persons are the Lord's mercy incarnate. Through them, the path to liberation becomes illuminated. Like just like how Srila Prabhupada gave us this wonderful system through ISKCON, and how he created so many spiritual masters. And today we are the third generation, we take benefit by associating with those spiritual masters and look for our purifications. So they are actually mercy of the Lord through them. So this is the mercy of the Lord that we are so fortunate that we met with the disciples of Srila Prabhupada who came in our life and gave us the path. So I need help from Sugopi Mataji. You want to take care of this slide?
Okay,
Yeah.
व्यक्तम् आत्मावताम् आत्मा भगवान् आत्मभावनः स्वानाम् अनुग्रहाये माम् सिद्धरूपी चरत्यजः. Supreme Personality of Godhead is always anxious to elevate the living entities who are his parts and parcels, and for their special benefit, the Lord travels all over the world in the form of self-realized persons like you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is the verse which is we just summarized in the last point. So this is the actual verse, and it's very important. Like we have to understand that these sages who are traveling throughout the world, who are actually are the sent by the Lord Himself, and we can receive this mercy through them, and that's why we should be very excited, and we should be show same like a composure as Prithu Maharaj showed towards four Kumaras, like receiving them with the excitement, taking care of them, washing their feet, all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So next question worthy of sense. So I would invite probably Hari Sankirtan Prabhu. You want to read this slide and explain a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
I can read it.
Yeah.
Theme, verses 17 to 19. Theme: Spiritual conversations benefit the world. Sarat Kumar, the best of celibate, is deeply pleased by Prithu Maharaj's meaningful, sweet, and appropriate words. He smiles with satisfaction and begins to reply with affection and appreciation. He praises Prithu Maharaj for 1. Asking beneficial questions for the welfare of all living beings, asking questions despite knowing the answers, which is the mark of a true saint, acting in a way that inspires knowledge, sharing, and deep reflection. Importance of Sadhu Sangha. When devotees gather, their discussions, questions, and answers benefit both the speaker and the audience. Such exchanges lead to real happiness and spiritual conclusiveness.
Thank you, Prabhu. So do you see any important points here?
Yeah,
Which
one of
point?
the important points, there are 2 points important actually. Like sometime, and this is like, I mean, repeated multiple times in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, is that many of the questions, sorry, one second, many of the questions that come are raised. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, some call came actually. Yeah. So many of the questions that are raised by many of the devotees are technically, I mean, not necessarily for their confusion, but for the understanding of the overall people. That is one thing. And second thing is the final point. Sorry, my screen went away. I'm not able to see it. But the other point that is mentioned is that. What was the last point? Can you repeat, Prabhuji? Sorry, my screen went away
To
actually.
real happiness and spiritual conclusiveness. Yeah.
No,
Such
no, one before that. Sorry, one.
Oh, when devotee gather, their discussions, questions, and answer benefit both the speaker and
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. So, like, even if basically we read in the initial chapters of the Bhagavatam also is that many of the question answers that were raised, like when Narada and the Vyasmuni, Sutta Goswami, and audience, and the rishis of Naimisharanya, or maybe Vidura and Maitreya Muni, right? It's not only for their benefit, basically everybody gets benefited by that. It's like not only the audience, but speaker and audience, but everybody actually. So those are the 2 points that I like from this.
So that is exactly what the four sages Kumaras when Prithu Maharaj asked those questions, then they acknowledge, and they also acknowledge that, see, Prithu Maharaj, you know all these answers. They are saying you are himself is a sage, saint, but you are still asking for others' benefit. So that's a way of approaching spiritual master. Thank you, bro. Yeah, that was good. Maybe can I ask Ashasaki to read the next one? Yeah.
Yes. The path to purity, verses 20 to 22. Theme: devotional attachment cleanses the heart. King Prithu already has a rare inclination to glorify the Lord's lotus feet. Such unflinching faith is hard to achieve. It cleanses lusty desires from the core of the heart. Scriptures confirm the ultimate goal of human life: detachment from the bodily concept. Study attachment to the Supreme Lord, who is beyond material modes. How to increase attachment to the Lord? Practice devotional service. Inquire about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apply Bhakti Yoga in daily life. Worship Yogeshwar, the Lord of all mystics. Hear and chant his glories. These activities are pious by nature and elevate the soul. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. You want to share any point which struck to you?
Practice of devotional service is important, and that should be the essence of our devotional life. And worship Yogeshwar. Those are the 2 points that stick out to me. Yogeshwar, Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So Prabhupada has already given us the ABCDE, right? That's practicing our devotional life. So that way we continue to keep our daily life as a service to the Lord. And then Krishna center, make the Krishna center of your life, so you never forget Krishna and you'll always remember Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is where I think devotional service was introduced, like again in the Srimad Bhagavatam through for Kumaras, and I think most attractive to me is the hear and chant of his glories. Yeah, I like this one part because hearing and chanting is a sense, and actually this point will be further emphasized or repeated in sixth canto. I just met with Visheshka Prabhu yesterday, and he reminded that sixth canto, Srila Prabhupada used to like sixth canto, first canto, second canto, and sixth canto. Sixth canto for the reason, Lord, the glories of the Lord is mentioned in that, and that is a essence for our journey. That hearing and chanting is essence for our spiritual journey. Yeah. Next one is the dangers of bad association, verses 23 to 24. So this is where first he replied with the devotional service, and now he's telling how we should be avoiding certain dangers. So avoid sense gratifier and live simply and sincerely. So this is the key theme here in this slide. So this is where the Kumaras saying avoid bad association. Those attached to sense gratification, money, and their companions. We should avoid such people. So sense gratifier, do indulge in the money making and their friend and all those we should avoid. Live for Hari Katha. More life so you cannot be peaceful without hearing Lord Hari's glory. We should always try for it. Oh, I can't sleep today because I didn't hear the glories of the Lord. Then, but if you sleep, then you're not looking for it. Right? So we should change our life in such a way. Develop attachment. Advance by becoming disgusted with material enjoyment. Be non-violent and follow the Acharya's footsteps. Always remember Krishna's pastime. They are nectar for the soul. Follow rules without material motives. Never blaspheme others. And this blaspheme we heard in the earlier in the Lord Shiva and Daksha's story also. And blaspheme is again comes and reminds us that we should not get into this business and live simply, tolerate dualities, and stay spiritually steady. So this is the final message from for Kumaras. And Srila Prabhupada ji also says, live simple, high thinking. That's what it comes. Yeah, simple living and high thinking comes from here. Okay, so next one. Okay, let's see this transformation through bhakti. Now, this is where bhakti further emphasized by the four Kumaras, and I can invite Sachi Sutta Prabhu to read this slide. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The transformation through bhakti, verses 25 to 30. Theme: devotion burns away illusion. A devotee gradually advances in devotional service through constant hearing of the Lord's transcendental qualities, which are like beautiful ornaments for the ears. This practice purifies the heart and helps one transcend the material moods. By the grace of the spiritual master, knowledge and detachment awaken. As this attachment to the Supreme Lord increases, the soul, though residing in the material body, burns away material identification just as fire consumes the wood from which it arises. At this stage, the devotee becomes liberated from all material desires and qualities. He no longer sees distinction between external and internal actions. The duality between the soul and super soul perceived before realization is annihilated, just as the difference between a dream and the dreamer disappears upon waking. Material existence is driven by sense gratification, which gives rise to desires and false designations. In contrast, the self-realized soul desires only to fulfill the will of the Lord. Differences perceived between oneself and others arise from material causes like varied reflections in water, oil, or mirrors. Yet in truth, such duality is illusory. Finally, when the mind is absorbed in sense objects, it becomes agitated, and true spiritual consciousness is lost, like the water of a lake being silently drained by the grass on its banks.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, like, I did not get any picture, but I thought like devotional service are very nicely presented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's like congregational chanting and how Krishna is enjoying with the friends the exchange, nice exchange of the prasadam. So this is the essence of. So any point come to your mind, Prabhu, while you were reading?
Yeah, a lot of points, right? The dreamer, that one, and the desire, right? Material existence is driven by sense gratification. So it happens because of the desire, basically, and our mind is also absorbed in
In the
doing those desires,
material,
basically.
right, material objects. Yeah.
Yeah, material objects.
And here actually in this here the sentence here says that it is this illusory things are actually in truth, but they are such duality is illusory. So it's not that they are not there. It is does exist, but it's like a illusory and temporary in nature. Yeah. Okay, next one is realization and shelter. So Sugopi Mataji, you want to read this one? Hare Krishna Mataji, unmute yourself. Yeah. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Did you ask? Oh, okay. Laws of spiritual memory. Insights on, realization and shelter verses 31 to 40. Insights on material existence. Laws of spiritual memory. Deviating from original consciousness causes one to forget both past and present, and knowledge becomes false. Such a soul is considered lost. Attraction to external pleasures. Considering other topics more enjoyable than self realization obstructs true self interest. 33. Money and sense gratification. Obsession with these leads to run of social welfare and
True.
degradation into lower life forms. Societal welfare. 34. Hedonism and ignorance. Associating with the mode of ignorance blocks progress in dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. 35. Liberation is most important. Dharma, artha, and kama are destroyed by time. Moksha alone is enduring. 36. Material status is temporary. Distinctions like high and low are due to the modes and are ultimately destroyed. Path to transcendence. 37. Lord resides in all hearts. The Supreme is present in all beings, though the soul is covered by body and certain elements. 38. Illusion is removed by discernment. One must understand the Lord is beyond material cause effect and surrender to Him. 39. Devotion frees one from desires. Bhakti alone cuts deep-rooted karmic desires. Jnanis and yogis cannot easily overcome them. 40. Lord's feet are the safe boat. The ocean of nescience is dangerous, but taking shelter of the Lord's lotus feet ensures safe passage.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So here, actually, the last point is very important. This is the like all these instructions coming from four Kumaras, correct? That he said he acknowledged this world which we are living it is like in this ocean of nescience where dangerous sharks are floating there. So it's very difficult to safeguard us without taking the lotus feet shelter. Otherwise, we will become victim of those sharks in this place. Correct? So any point come to your mind, Mataji? Or you want to share anything?
The last point only, Lord's feet
Okay.
are safe.
Say photos, yeah. That's highlights, yeah. Okay. We'll move. So next is this is the verse which is going to be the which is last point. And I think Ashwini, you want to read this verse?
I can try.
Hmm.
Racho mahani bhavan vamaplavesham shadvargana kramasukhena titishanti tatvam harer bhagavato bhajaniya mangari kratvodupam vyasana uttara dustaranam. The ocean of nescience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although those who are non devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all dangers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So there is the recommendation from who's speaking this verse? Who spoke this verse? Four Kumaras is telling this, yeah. Four Kumaras is giving this instruction to like it is their recommendation that we rather than engaging into this austerities and penance, you should actually take the shelter of the lotus feet or do devotional service because then your path will become very easy. Because if you remember, the Prithu Maharaj was doing a lot of like we are doing fire sacrifices. He was heavily involved, like doing. He was performing the hundreds four sacrifice. What is that called? Ashwamedh sacrifice. And that's where that Prithu Maharaj is reminding, don't get into those, just focus on the lotus feet. And so that is a very good comparison. And he said, this is what will deliver all of it. Okay, so next one is Prithu Maharaj praises the Kumaras. Okay, so I'll read this one. Okay. So now Prithu Maharaj, after the we hearing the Prithu Maharaj, the Kumaras, now Prithu Maharaj is praising the Kumaras. After receiving complete spiritual knowledge from Sanat Kumar, King Prithu, deeply enlightened, offered worship to the sages. He acknowledged that their visit fulfilled a divine blessing previously given by Lord Vishnu. Okay. It is fulfilled a divine blessing previously given by the Lord Vishnu. So there is again comes here because recognizing their compassion equal to the Lord's. Prathu humbly confessed that he had nothing suitable to offer except remnants left by great sons. So this is where this is the very interesting part about from the Prathu Maharaj. He said there is nothing suitable I have to offer you in respect of what they have given to him. And the next verse is very interesting. Out of gratitude and humility, he offered everything he possessed, his life, family, kingdom, wealth, and all household resources to the Kumara. And actually, here, I did not purposely write wife also because that was a very interesting discussion in that in this Prabhupada says nobody has ever offered like this. But Prithu Maharaj, out of a great feeling, great feeling gratitude towards the Kumaras and showing humility, he actually offered everything, whatever he has, including himself, to Kumaras. And there is a very good analogy which will come. We will read later. Just remember that that Prabhupada gives why Prithu Maharaj is in this mood or why he's feeling like this. Okay. Declaring that true rulership belongs to those fully educated in Vedic knowledge. He symbolically surrendered his sovereignty to them because he's saying "Okay, this, he's a king and he's giving everything to the Brahmanas, the four Kumaras. Why? Because it belongs to those who are educated in Vedic knowledge, that they can take care of the world business much better than he said, yeah, if I can do. So that is why he offered everything to for Kumaras. He emphasized the dependence of all social classes on the Brahmanas and sustain themselves and others through their own pure efforts. He acknowledged that such exalted personalities who enlighten society with Vedic truths and self realization cannot be repaid by any material means, only by sincere gestures like folded palms and heartfelt reverence. So this is Prabhupada Maharaj's realization. We cannot pay in by any material means. Only by serving them we can repay their what is their mercy or how they are affect what they have given to us. Pleased by his devotion and humility, the Kumaras praised King Prathu from the sky, and everyone present witnessed the glorious scene. Okay. So basically, we can see that all four Kumaras now leaving or left from the scene. Okay. So this 47 was also very interesting, and we should know that we should not never think of repaying or whatever we get through this from our spiritual masters or from the Prabhupada. We can never. Okay. Okay, next one, Prathu's glorious rule and qualities. Now, these are the actual qualities of Prithu Maharaj and his rules. But earlier, what we read when Prithu Maharaj just born from the Vena's body, at that time those reciters, professional reciters were there. They were glorifying that this Prithu Maharaj will do this, this, this. Remember, that is the given earlier, but then Prithu Maharaj told like, oh, I haven't done anything, so why you're telling? So, but they still went and they said, this is what sages told us, and we are going to repeat whatever about you. And so we heard that, but this is the one after he actually doing. So this is where the description is given by the Sutta Goswami or Sukhdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj. So this qualities and lifestyle, and I compared those. They are a little bit different, but more or less they are pretty on line. 49 to 51, and who has not spoken yet? Oh, I haven't seen the Rasraj Prabhu and the party. Okay. I thought they will help me. Okay. Spiritually enlightened. Prathu was chief amongst the great souls due to his spiritual realization, dedicating all actions and results to the Supreme Lord as his eternal servant. He was spiritually enlightened. Okay. Detached householder. Despite great opulence, he remained unattached, like the sun shining, yet unaffected. Like the sun shining, yet unaffected. Sun and shining. The shining it comes from sun, but they are actually not affected. Liberated devotees. In his liberated state, he still performed duties, including begetting 5 sons with Archie. So he was liberated, but still he performed material activities. Sometimes people think, oh, we are living in this material, we are spiritual, we are practicing spirituality. How we are going to take care of material? Here, Prithu Maharaj is already in liberated state, but he is doing all the duties of material life also, like begetting 5 sons from his wife Archie. Ruler of earth, he continued to rule and embodied qualities of celestial rulers. He ruled very nicely, that means. Pleasing all citizens. He worked selflessly to satisfy citizens according to their nature through words, deeds, and thoughts. So, word, deeds. He did some activities, right? And thoughts. Exceptional attributes and fame. So celebrated like celestial beings, as glorious as Soma, moon god, powerful and exacting like the sun, fulfilling duties like heaven. Um, Powerful and tolerant, irresistible like fire, invincible like Indra, tolerant like the earth, and fulfilling desires like heaven. Deep and steady, like rainfall in satisfaction, like the ocean in depth, and like Mount Meru in resolve. So these are the qualities we read earlier also, but here it is given as an fact. Rich and wise, intelligent like Yamraj, wealthy like Kuvera, opulent like Himalaya, and secretive like Varun. And we will read the analogy given by Prabhupada why secretive is important. Strong and fierce, as swift and strong as wind, intolerant of religion like Sadashi. Spiritually exemplary, as wise as Brahaspati, self-controlled like the Lord, devoted to cows, brahmanas, in spiritual masters. We saw that how he received the 4 Kumaras. Shy, gentle, and philanthropic. Universally glorified. His fame resounded throughout the universe as sweet and inspiring as the glories of Lord Ramchandra. Correct? So that is how he ruled, like universally glorified. How Lord Ram they compared with the Lord Ramchandra's rule. So with that, we have completed 63 verses. So we will soon go to analogy. Okay. And I need all of your help. So I'll invite Hari Sanketan Prabhu, if you can read this first slide.
Yes, Roji, I'll
And
read.
yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Analogies. Birds of a feather flock together. It's 422.3 purport. In this world, everyone is attracted by a person of the same category. A drunkard is attracted to persons who are also drunkards. Similarly, a saintly person is attracted by other saintly persons. Prithu Maharaj was in the topmost position of spiritual advancement, and as such, he was attracted by the Kumaras, who were of the same category. It is said, therefore, that a man is known by his company. Durvasa Muni, 422.9 purport. A saintly person would have often traveled with 60,000 disciples. Durvasa Muni is a saintly person who would often travel with 60,000 disciples and could become very angry, even cursing the host if not properly received. However, every householder, regardless of status or wealth, can still receive saintly gifts with devotion. At the very least, one can offer drinking water, which is generally available. In India, it's customary to at least offer water to a guest, even if food cannot be provided. If water is unavailable, a simple sitting place like a straw mat or even just a clean spot on the ground is acceptable. If that is also not possible, then receiving the guest with folded hands and a heartfelt welcome is sufficient. And if even that cannot be done, householders who sincerely feel regret for his helplessness, shed tears, and offer obeisances with the entire family. Such sincere gestures can still satisfy a saintly person or even a king. Sandalwood and snake to 422.11 purport. Just as venomous snakes seek the cooling effect of sandalwood trees due to their natural heat, demoniac householders, though wealthy, live in a hostile, unwelcoming manner, guarding their homes with dogs, warnings, and even deadly force. Such homes are likened to the dwellings of venomous snakes. The family members filled with envy, especially towards saintly persons, are compared to snakes, whose envious nature makes them dangerous and spiritually degraded.
Thank you. A lot of information, correct? Yeah. Especially the second one, I like. We can learn a lot because I don't think we are following properly. Okay, next, I think, Prabhu, you want to do that? Please?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Fourth one. The compromised duties of Kshatriyas, yet they are blessed. Srimad Bhagavatam 422.13 purport. Kshatriyas, though householders and often absorbed in sense gratification, are sometimes required to engage in activities like hunting to maintain their readiness for battle. These acts, along with illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, are generally sinful, but are allowed for Kshatriyas due to their political duties. However, such actions are not spiritually auspicious. The Pandavas serve as a clear example. Bound by their duty, they accepted a gambling challenge from Duryodhana, resulting in the loss of their kingdom and the dishonoring of their wife. Similarly, Kshatriyas are bound to fight when challenged, even if it leads to suffering. Fifth one, living always in Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 422.24. We should organize our lives so that all activities, eating, sleeping, walking, and working, are centered on Krishna. The Krishna conscious movement encourages living arrangements that help us constantly remember Him. For example, in ISKCON, devotees engaged in making spiritual sky incense also hear about glories of Krishna or his activities. This follows with the scriptural instruction, Smarta Vyaha Satatam Vishnuhu. Lord Vishnu should always be remembered without interruption. Tolerance in Krishna consciousness, Srimad Bhagavatam 4:20-24. As long as we have a material body, we are subject to the threefold miseries: climatic changes, disease, and natural disturbances, which cannot be avoided. Sometimes new devotees wonder why they become sick despite practicing Krishna consciousness. They should understand from this teaching that such experience is part of material duality and must be tolerated. Dvandva titikshaya. Sickness does not mean one has fallen from Krishna consciousness. Rather, spiritual progress requires remaining steady despite material challenges. The transformative power of devotional attachment. When a living entity becomes firmly attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the grace of the spiritual master and by awakening knowledge and detachment, he transcends the material bondage. Though situated within the body and covered by five material elements, he burns up his material entanglement just as fire arising from wood consumes the wood itself.
Thank you. So the first one actually, that the fourth, like Kshatriya duty, I think, the Prithu Maharaj was asking how I can be liberated, or the, because he was thinking, I am Kshatriya and I'm allowed to break these four regulatory principles. So how would I be liberated? And that is the why he asked this question. It's very good, basically. Yeah. But it was very eye-opening for me also, like how Kshatriya is exempted from these four regulatory principles. Yeah. Okay, next one. Asisaki, you want to read the analogies? The next 8 to 11.
8 through 11.
Mm.
Okay. The spiritualized body of a pure devotee, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.26. An advanced devotee lives not in the material body but in the spiritual body. Similar to how a dry coconut remains detached from its husk while still inside it, such a devotee's body is called Chinmaya Sarira, a spiritualized body, fully transcendental in nature. 9. Beyond duality, oneness in self-realization, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.27. When a person becomes free from all material desires and qualities, they transcend the distinction between external and internal actions. At this stage of self realization, the perceived difference between the soul and the supersoul disappears. Just as when a dream ends, the separation between the dream and the dreamer no longer exists. 10. The childlessness of material pursuits. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22-36. Material activities such as economic development and sense gratification are like children's play, building sand castles on the beach. Though the father may watch patiently, he eventually calls the children home, and all their creations are wiped away. Similarly, the Lord sometimes shows special mercy by destroying our material attachments, reminding us of their temporary and illusory nature. 11. Ravana's prosperity and its destruction. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.36. By the grace of Lord Shiva, a devotee can receive the blessings of Goddess Durga. Ravan, a powerful devotee of Lord Shiva, was thus blessed with immense material opulence. His entire kingdom was made of gold. Some Puranic references suggest that present-day Brazil, where large quantities of gold have been found, may have once been Ravan's kingdom. Despite his wealth and power, Ravan's kingdom was ultimately destroyed by Lord Ramachandra. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. So there are some purport also very like this purport is number 10 is the purport actually. Number 8 is the purport where this analogies are also given. But they are actually spoken by, if you remember, like they are spoken by the Kumaras. And okay, last one. I believe it's the last one. So Sugopi Mataji, you want to read?
Okay, Prabhuji. Stop the waves of desires. 4:22:39 purport. The urge for material enjoyment is compared to the unstoppable river. Though many try to control the senses, their efforts are ineffective. Only the process of devotional service to the Lord can successfully stop these powerful waves of desire. Amidst oceanic dangers, 4:22:40 purport. King Prithu is advised to take a shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, which act like a boat to safely cross the ocean of material dangers. These dangers are like the sharks, no matter how expert a swimmer one may be. Survival is impossible if attacked by them. Similarly, many so-called swamis and yogis claim they can cross the ocean of ignorance and lead others, but in truth, they often fall victim to their own uncontrolled senses. Only the Lord's lotus feet provide real protection, offering what already belongs to the Lord. SP 4:22:44 purport. Sridhara Swami explains that offering to great souls like the Kumaras is like a servant offering food to his master. It already belongs to the master, but the servant prepares and presents it to please him. Similarly, although everything already belonged to Prithu Maharaja, he offered it to the Kumaras with devotion, making it acceptable and meaningful. Devotional intent transforms action. SP 4:22:50 purport. Srila Rupa Goswami advises that activities favorable to devotional service should not be rejected, nor should they be mistaken for ordinary or fruitive work. For example, while an ordinary person may do business to enjoy the results, a devotee may perform similar work with the aim of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Because the Devotee's intention is devotional. His actions are not considered ordinary. The purity of a devotee. SB 42252 purport. Maharaja Prithu is compared to the sun, which shines on impure things like stool and urine, but remains unaffected due to its all-powerful nature. Similarly, a devotee, despite engaging in material activities, remains unaffected by them because he has no desire for sense gratification. Instead, he uses all material activities for the service of the Lord, purifying them in the process. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madam. So beautiful. Like there are a lot of analogies are from they come from purport also, and yeah. So this one actually like a servant like offering the food to the master. It's like this is why this is with the same inspiration. Kumaras offered whatever he belong everything belonged to him offered to Kumaras basically. There's a way to serve. Okay, 3 points, principal points from this chapter. So the importance of self-realization over material pursuit. So that is the message we can see from Kumara's teaching. The four Kumaras emphasize that deviation from spiritual consciousness lead to forgetfulness and entrapment in false knowledge, which causes the soul to become lost. They strongly caution against prioritizing material pleasure, wealth, and duties over self-realization. So that we can see, right? Yeah. Second one is a devotional service is the surest path to liberation. So even great yogi and jnani struggle to overcome sense gratification. We seen many examples like Vishwamitra example, like he fall in when he was doing the austerities. Menka came and disturbed him. Then after that, Ramba came and again she tried. So these are great dangers in a yogi or jnani path. But devotional service to the Lord's lotus feet is glorified as the most effective and direct means to transcend material bondage and attain spiritual perfection. So devotional service is the surest path to liberation. Okay? Actually, you get much more than the liberation. Prithu Maharaj's exemplary qualities as a king and devotee. So we can learn a lot about Prithu Maharaj, how we should, or if we become a king or devotee, how we should uh, act. Prithu Maharaj, after receiving transcendental knowledge from Kumaras, humbly offers everything to them, recognizing their divine mission. His reign is portrayed as an ideal blend of power, detachment, and devotion, and his glories resound across the universe like those of Lord Ramchandra. So again, so we did the chapter 422 with the categorization. We did the categorization, 4 categories we created, shared or understanding, and we personal realization and teaching application. We talked about how Srila Prabhupada was to. Conclusion, we are almost done with this presentation. So here's what I think based on what chapter. In this remarkable chapter, the enlightening dialogue between Maharaj Prithu and the four Kumaras reveals many timeless truths about spiritual life. The Kumaras emphasize the danger of forgetfulness of one's real identity, the illusion of material progress, and the supremacy of devotional service over jnana and karma. They urge detachment from sense enjoyment and association with ignorance, stressing surrender to the super soul who resides in everyone's heart. Prithu Maharaj responds with exemplary humility, offering everything, his kingdom, wealth, wife, and even himself in gratitude. His spotless character is celebrated, fully God conscious, self control, and detached, yet actively engaged in protecting citizens and upholding Dharma. His devotion, tolerance, strength, and deep affection for saintly persons place him among the most illustrious king in history. whose fame resounds across the universe like that of Lord Ramchandra. This chapter ultimately glorifies devotional service as the supreme path and demonstrates how spiritual wisdom and righteous leadership can beautifully coexist. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Dhanavadan Prabhuji, very nice presentation.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So you can on share your screen. That's a good, at least meeting with great personality like Kumaras has really such an enlightening topic can come. And Prithu Maharaj, both God, both Sakta Vesavatar. One is a student, another is a master. So any further reflections, Prabhu?
I think if we can imbibe all this, any of these teachings, that will change our life from this
Yeah,
chapter.
I think there are various things, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, just like in Bhagavad Gita it says, and how the Grihastha's life means mostly on Kama and Krodha, Kama Esha, Krodha, Samadbhava, Rajoguna. Also in 260 Bhagavatam, sorry, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mentions like what is the cause and effect. Like Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha, Sammoha, Sriti, Smriti, and from
TV
Smriti,
Brahma.
Smriti Brahmsmat Buddhinaso. Then from Buddhinasa, Pranashati. So that's the one. Krodha, from that you forgetfulness, and by forgetfulness you lost your intelligence, and again you lost yourself. So there are many analogy Prabhupada given about the lotus feet of uh, serving the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, right? How that is the key to success. And Prahlad Maharaj, same prayer in seventh canto, that also glorifies the serving the lotus feet of the Lord, Nrsingadev. And Kumaras are always brilliant in understanding. Just you mentioned about the Kshatriyas are exempt from the by passing the four regulative principles. Sorry, uh, four regulative principles. When one is also meat eating, they can have it. Illicit sex, yes, if somebody is inviting them, like when Hidamba was also inviting Bhima, when Mother Kunti said, "Go and satisfy her." So it is the nature of Kshatriyas. So all these things can be exempt to them, but they don't misuse for the sake of sense gratification. But when there is a invitations of gambling, you can go. Invitations by a woman for a Kshatriya to satisfy her, they go for it. So they are very high topic to understand. And also there is a point you mentioned about the reason behind meeting is elevated soul, right? So only
Mhm.
thing by it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by special mercy of the Lord or the special mercy of the devotees. Prabhupada gave in one of the purport when Sanatan Goswami was present also in during the where he was there in Allahabad, Chandrasekhar Acharya or Banaras. Uh, so when he came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chandrasekhar Acharya, it's in Banaras, yeah.
Banaras.
Chandrasekhar Acharya also could not recognize Sanatana Goswami. So Prabhupada
Sanatana
gave an example that how even Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bhujya. So nobody can understand the Kriya Mudra, the activities and their glances and their attitude or anything, nobody can understand. So similarly, in this same mood, we can develop our love towards the spiritual master. And one thing we can read is 19. I like it. So just one section. What is that? 19. Okay, let me share my screen. We're a little late, but it makes sense. We have to go through the. You can see, right? Sangama khalo sadhunam ubhesham cha sammata yat sambhashana samsprasna sarvesham vetunatisam. When there is congregation of devotees, their discussions, questions, and answers become conclusive to both the speaker and the audience. The such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real happiness. Such a powerful thing. That's what we are doing, meeting and developing congregation. Okay. Let's chapter 22. Can somebody read the one paragraph?
Okay, Prabhuji. Verses 1 to 15. While the citizens praised Prithu Maharaja, the four effulgent Kumaras descended from the sky, and the king and his officers worshipped them with great respect. Prithu Maharaja took the water from their foot bath on his hair. Prithu glorifies the Kumaras as the best of the Brahmanas, experienced in liberation and in celibacy. Although appearing as small children, he asked them how those desiring only sense gratification could be blessed with good fortune. He praised them as being traveling manifestations of the Lord for the purpose of elevating the Lord's parts and parcels living entities.
Thank you. Can someone read the next two?
Yes, Prabhu. Verses 17 through 40. Sanat Kumar instructed Maharaj Prathu in Jnana and Vijnana. Verses 41 to 48. Maharaj Prathu offered all his possessions to the Kumaras, even though everything already belonged to them because they represent the Lord. The four Kumaras became very pleased and appeared in the sky, praising the character of the king. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Can someone read the last one?
I can read. Maharaj Prithu executed his duties as perfectly as possible. His only aim to satisfy the absolute truth. He always thought of himself as the servant of the Lord who possesses everything. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulence for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached. By his wife, Archie, Prathu Maharaj also begot five sons, named Vijitsava, Dhumraketu, Haryaksha, Dravina, and Vraka. Prathu Maharaj continued to rule the planet and used to please the various citizens in all respects by his words, mentality, mentality, works, and gentle behavior. He was, as Prathu Maharaj's sweet reputation was celebrated throughout the universe, and all ladies and saintly persons heard his glories. He exactly represented Lord Ramchandra, the ideal king. Ideal king. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So there are also, you mentioned many examples of the analogies, but this is few more. 26. An advanced devotee therefore does not live within the metal body, but with the spiritual body, just as a dry coconut leaves detached from the coconut husk, even though within the husk. 30. A lake covered by all around by long kusa grass, just like columns. The waters may dry up. Similarly, when big columns of metal desires increase, they clear out of consciousness dries up. 36. Children may play on the beach, and the father will sit and watch the child play. The constructions of buildings with sand, the constructions of walls, and so many things. But finally, the father will ask the children to come home. Then everything is destroyed. Persons who are too much addicted to the childish activities of economic development and sense gratifications are sometimes especially favored by the Lord when it destroys the constructions of these things. 39. It may be argued that the waves of rivers incessantly flowing and that they cannot be stopped, but the waves of the river flow toward the sea. When the tide comes about the river, it overwhelms the flowing of the river, and the river itself becomes overflowed, and the waves from the sea become more prominent than the waves from the river. Similarly, a devotee with intelligence plans so many things for the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness that stagnant mental desires become overflowed by the desire to serve the Lord. It's very, very brilliant. 56. Like the sun god, Prithu Maharaj distributed his heat and light to give protections to his kingdom. For without heat and light, no one can exist. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj exacted taxes and gave such strong orders to the citizens and government that no one had power to disobey him. On the other hand, he pleased everyone just like the moon sign. So there are 15 questions in this chapter. What are the special powers of the four Kumaras? How should one receive a saintly person who comes to one's home? 5 and 10. Water, seed, good word, right? Why did Kumaras keep themselves as small children? 12. Why did Prithu Maharaj not ask the Kumaras about their good fortune? And what 4 kinds of simple activities are allowed for the Kshatriyas? That's just Chandravardhan Prabhu described, and we talked. Why were Kumaras considered Mahabhagavat? And the Krishna consciousness movement is started for what purpose? In 19 also we read, right? The congregations, everybody gets benefit. So how should a devotee relate to different types of religious systems? And how should a devotee deal with sickness? It's a very practical example. List the 5 kinds of metal attachments. Describe the perfect conception of oneness in relation to the super soul and the soul. Why is there no question of renouncing anything for a Paramahansa? And what are the strongest obstructions for one's self-interest? How can the king or government head satisfy everyone, just like Prithu Maharaj did? Describe a brahmachari. And some of the things, the receptions to guests, to saintly persons, how to ask Maharaj Prithu to conceal himself as a pure devotee. Maharaj Prithu was softer than rose flower and harder than a thunderbolt. Krishna consciousness movement is only means to become free of all designations, right? And everything belongs to the Brahmanas. Scientists should become familiar with Lord's perfect plan, universal maintenance, and Lord make a prediction, fulfills it through some of his devotees. Best friend of all people is one who awakens humanity to Krishna consciousness. Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are being broadcast all over the world by ISKCON. No question of dancing anything of Paramahansas. Okay. I think that's all for this week's thing. So 23 will be our last chapter for this division C. Who is presenting that, Satyasudha Prabhu?
Yeah, I will check, Prabhuji. 1 second.
Ashtasaki Mataji.
No, Ashtasaki. Oh, Ashtasaki Mataji, you are doing?
I did last week already, Prabhu.
Yeah, Ashtasaki did already last week.
Oh, okay. I thought
Last week, actually. Last week we didn't have the class. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So who is there next, Prabhu? Can you check?
Yeah, I'm checking, Prabhuji. 1 second. I think Hari Sankirtan, sorry, Hari Sankirtan.
No, I'm doing 23rd or 25th?
May 8th, Prabhuji.
I'm doing 23rd chapter?
Oh, yeah,
25th
yeah,
is
23.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was on...
25th is my turn.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm doing next week. Huh? Okay, I didn't know that. I have to prepare then. Okay.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
At
It
least
got
we know.
swapped or it got... Okay, oh, okay. I don't know how it happened. Okay, that's fine. No problem. I'll do it.
May 8th, remember you switched with the Balimadan Prabhuji from May 22nd.
Yeah, I know. I switched that. I thought mine was on May 22nd. Okay, I didn't know it was on May 8th actually. Okay. Okay. So I'm doing next one. Okay, fine.
Chapter 23, Maharaj Prithu's going back home. And after that, we have review 14 to 23.
Yeah, 15th we'll have review.
Yeah, 15th review. 22nd, Prabhuji, you will be presenting.
Okay.
And 29th, Sugopi Mataji.
29th we may have break or something. We'll see.
Okay.
Because of the
long
Sadhu Sangha, yeah, long weekend we are all going. So probably. But anyway, we have some time.
Okay.
So next week, then 23rd, we'll go through this chapter C, not chapter C, the division C, which is Prithu Maharaj will end. Then we'll bring in the Prachetas.
22nd, right, Prabhuji?
We are talking about 22nd chapter. Or...
Oh, sorry. 23rd chapter, correct. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, then. Thank you very much for your wonderful association.
Thank
May
you.
Krishna bless you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Mancha kalpatarvyasya
Yes,
kripa sindhya patitanam pavane Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.